So I knew that when I looked around, I knew that I'd never be able to escape unless I did something that they're just not going to expect, which was the helicopter. But you can't escape from prison in helicopters because even though, and I'd read and I knew in the flight of the Falcon that you're just not allowed. You're not allowed to shoot at helicopter aircraft over prisoners because it could be a hostage situation. Now that is it's virtually worldwide accepted. But I knew that some of these redneck screws, and I mean that, redneck screws, because he was not allowed to shoot, but he did. He did. And he could have killed the pilot and everything else. And so I knew that any prison I went to, although they're not supposed to shoot, there's a good chance they will. And that's why you never see any escapes from any of these jails around Australia, because the screws can see the helicopter from the start and they're on alert. But at Silverwater, I noticed that there were about 10 an hour coming over. And because you had the Olympics coming on and tourists were coming over there. And when you're seeing 10 helicopters an hour, I had a look at the reaction of the screws, and I said they didn't even look up.
They just grouped together.
Yeah, they didn't look up. It's nothing. It's no helicopter. I mean, 100 a day. We're not worried about that. Whereas if there's Bathurst, like one in...
Was this a normal occurrence at the Silverwater?
No.
Or was it just because the Olympics?
No, the Olympics are coming. Okay. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. It's got to be fate. I believe in fate. I'm in the one jail where the helicopter's coming. That's the start.
And you're in a prison cell with a...
No, but what happened, that's the first thing, the being in that jail. But then I get the one wing that I get put in, there's 20 different wings.
Yeah.
I get put in where a helicopter pilot gets deported from bloody South Africa to Scotland to New Zealand
to Australia
and lands not just in my jail, but in my bloody block.
Yeah.
So by now it's like 10,001 odds.
Yeah.
And because even though I'd said to Lucy, look, we can escape in a chopper, and she was all for it, we didn't know anything about choppers. So her father was a squadron leader of choppers over in Russia, but they're very strict in Russia. The kids couldn't get anywhere near it. She never even got near it, so she knew nothing about it. He used to talk to her about that flying over Siberian prisoners. He'd see them all the time, but it was never going to happen. So really, it was fate. Fate's decreed for some reason that I survived, because I robbed a bank down in Melbourne, was shot at by the tellers. They all had guns. People don't realise tellers had guns in those days. Yeah. They shot at me and missed. Got shot at by the cops at Bathurst. They missed. And then they fired bloody 3 shots at the helicopter, and it hit the helicopter. I heard it, foot, but it didn't bring us down. It missed by about half a centimetre. If it hits the silical cable, it brings us down. So it was meant to be that someone was meant to get out and do it, and I'm meant to be alive, really. All the things that I've did and survived, I should have been killed down there. And when I took that Screws gun and had the SWAT team around, they shot all the lights out. I should have been killed that night. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I had busted appendix when I was 17, and I had poison in my system all night because they couldn't operate. I was underage, and they had to get my father. They couldn't find him. By the time he got there, I was just about dead.
He was at the pubs.
Yeah, just about dead, yeah. And they said it was a miracle that I survived.